My school's doing a Day of the Dead project, and I'm doing my great-grandpa. He went to Samoa for several years, and so I'm going to make a replica of Samoa.
Here we're mixing up some epoxy resin. Used crystal clear from Better Boat. We used caulk to hold the resin in place. I mean, it's however you want to do it. Yeah, don't touch your thumb, you're awfully close to it. That's a great cut. Okay, that's perfect. This is an inexpensive wire cutter I picked up from Amazon. This is the same cutter, just with a different attachment. Then come get this side. We did use a primer that should have kept the foam from being damaged by the paint, but clearly we didn't prime it very well. This ended up working for this particular project because it gave it lots of texture. What do you want the clip on?
Probably on that side. Are you actually thinking about it?
Yeah. I think it might have been too big before, and now it might be perfect.
You see that huge hole? Although we could still put resin in it.
Yeah, I'm thinking that...
Actually, it might still work.
Later on, we used some Mod Podge and retouched up those pink areas. Put Mod Podge down to protect it, and then repainted it with brown. Here we're just mixing up some more epoxy resin and adding in some tinting to create the different effects. All of these tints came in a package I got off of Amazon several years ago. I saw this on a video to kind of blow it out with the straws, but for this, it ended up being easier to just use like a heat gun. We used a product called Water Effects, and it's supposed to make cool looking waterfalls. I think we made it a little big here, but it gives a little bit of a whitewater feel to the rapids coming down the waterfall. We never really needed this styrofoam and wood. It was just left over from an old project I had done. I thought maybe it would catch the resin, but it's not needed in the slightest bit. So we just cut it off with the bandsaw. Right. We decided to build up our island a little bit after it got demolished from the paint eating through the foam because it wasn't primed as well as it should have been. So here we're just mixing up some putty that I had on hand. After we put the putty down, we poured more sand over it to give it that sandy texture.
Guy with like wiping his head right here. It'll be so
it's
funny.
your island, man.
I want to do it.
This is just throwing a little Mod Podge over the island to add more sand. And don't spill it on your clothes, it will be instantly ruined.
But I'm so excited to put this little guy right here. Oh shoot! Oh shoot!
The resin kept leaking through the island. So we've Mod Podged it, and now we can paint it again now that it's properly primed with Mod Podge. The sand still didn't look quite like we had wanted, so we mixed up another batch of epoxy directly with the sand, poured that around the island, and sprinkled sand right over the top of it. And that seemed to do the trick.
See, Desmond, I'm just kind of like hitting... See how it just kind of gives it a little more texture? Yeah, just like hit the ridges.
Okay. What are we gonna do? Okay. Perfect, cool.
Yo!
Alright, should we do some more?
Yeah.
Desmond and I had a great time doing this project. It was a fun way to remember my grandpa and learn a little bit about him as we read through his journals and made something to commemorate him. If you enjoyed this small build, I highly recommend the Haggard Hut diorama right here.